On 26 January 2016, Republic Day, Bajaj created a digital storm when they unveiled the teaser video of their next motorcycle. In a smooth and secret move, Bajaj picked up the scrap metal and decided to make their next motorcycle from that very metal. And that's what we've come here to see today. Well, what has been unveiled here is the V family of motorcycles, which will be sitting alongside the Discover on the commuter range, but it will be more premium than the Discover. And the motorcycle that's specifically been unveiled today is the V15. Let's see what all it's packing. Let's start with what makes the V15 really stand out, and that's the way it looks. Bajaj were aiming for something solid, muscular, tough, and you know what? It does look like that, but also with a little bit of style to it. I mean, you look at the headlamp, it's a bit awkward. You look at the sides, muscular, nice. The overall stance, there were a lot of discussions regarding whether it's a cruiser or a cafe racer. I think it is a mix of both, and part of that is down to the tires it uses. It has an 18-inch front and a 16-inch rear, so it has that kind of slopey stance which makes it seem like cruiser yet cafe racer at the same time. And of course the muscular looks make it seem more cafe racer for some part of it. The rear, you look at it, it has that boat tail rear, so again suggests of cruiser. All in all, very distinctive. Is it very pretty? I don't really think so, but it is striking, it stays in your head and it doesn't put you off. So I think that at the end of the day is a good thing. Now the V15, it's supposed to be invincible, really tough, and to that effect, it has the running gear to deliver a really durable motorcycle. So whether you look at the chassis, which is a dual cradle frame, you look at the tires, these are wide tires. They are Eurogrip tires. At the rear you have a 120 section tire, at the front a 90 section tire. The front forks also quite beefy for this segment. They're 33 mm tires, so overall it has a very solid chassis. That aside, then you come to the engine. It's a 150cc engine, again a DTSI engine, but it's not a 4-valve head, it's a 2-valve head. And that's very important because 2-valve heads are really good at making torque really low down in the rev range. They aren't about ripping the bike flat out and going really in the higher end of the RPM range. So you have a lot of torque, about 13 Newton meters at about 5,500 RPM, but you have 12 Newton meters of it available at about 3,000 RPM. Now when it comes to power, the engine makes about just under 12 bhp, and that's not really hot for a 150cc. The other Discovers with 150cc of displacement make about 2 bhp more than this. But the focus for Bajaj hasn't been power. They wanted to cruise comfortably. They wanted to be very talky and easy to ride. They've constantly stressed on, when talking to personnel from Bajaj, they've stressed about usability, rideability, even with a pillion on board. And to that effect, they've said that whether you're in 5th gear, this is a 5-speed gearbox, 5th gear sitting at 50 kph, you open the gas and it will just get going. At the same time, fuel efficiency is expected in the real world with a pillion to be 60 kpl. That's what the company insiders are claiming. These are not RI figures, but these are figures that they expect to be delivered in the real world. Some really cool details on the V. One is the contrast stitching on the seat. Makes it just feel a little bit richer, doesn't it? And then there's that cowl for the pillion seat, which gives it more of that cafe racer-like feel, right? But you can easily remove it using the Allen key that's offered on the motorcycle. Then you look at the foot pegs, very thick rubber cushioning on them. So comfort clearly the priority here. You have, of course, disc brakes. Glad to have that. But really the one cool feature is in the instrument cluster, you have a fuel gauge which goes in color from green to red as the fuel level decreases. Bajaj's V, how invincible is it? How tough is it? How comfortable is it? How good is it at covering long distances? The answers to these questions we'll only get towards the end of February when we get to ride it, because the motorcycle only goes into production in the first half of February and it goes into showrooms in the start of March. It's expected to be priced in the region of 60 to 70,000 rupees, more likely closer to the 60,000 rupee mark, which should make it a very attractive commuter with a new flavor in the Indian market.